Welcome to the video. The AI bubble has officially popped. The stock market is down. Jensen Huang, after releasing NVIDIA's earnings, fantastic earnings, $2 billion above what Wall Street said they were going to do. Then the stock market goes up. NVIDIA touches almost back to its peak and absolutely obliterates. From 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., the stock market saw, I think it was like $5.8 trillion left in the market. So one of the wildest swings of all time in stock history. Andy, are we in a bubble or what? And
Feels
is it
like
popping?
I think it's popping because this is a wild roller coaster, and I don't know if I like it. I mean, you wake up each day, you don't know what to expect. It's like things are up, things are down. I don't know.
I think it's because all the retail money's in the market, man. I think back in the day, it was a little bit more predictable as to why things happen. One of the things I was reading on Twitter today, because usually there's a linchpin or there's a reason why the market does. Maybe a bad headline, Trump says something dumb, someone tweets something, and it triggers it. There really wasn't any specific trigger item today. In fact, pre-market going in, stocks were way up. So I don't know. That might mean bad signs, but it's tough to know what the hell is going on anymore because I'm on Twitter and everyone just basically tweets what they want to happen. So they set their own narrative based on basically their own portfolio.
Yeah, it's a crazy time. I mean, people have been saying it's like a game of musical chairs. People have been saying it's a bubble. It's a bubble. A crash is coming for over 2 years now, and the crash will likely come one of these days. It's just you don't want to hop out. If you hopped out a year and a half ago, I mean, you would have missed so many great times. But
I know, and as a retail investor myself, you watch all these videos of the long-time, successful, long-term investors, and they say, guys, why are you watching the daily markets? It's stupid. If you're a real investor, you don't watch the daily market because your money's going to be in there for 10 years. And you ride the highs, you ride the lows, but it goes up over time. Now, I think that's absolute BS. I am trying to make short-term gains. I'm going all in. One stock. I liquidated my 401k. I put it into a self-assigned 401k, and I'm playing with it. I'm having a good time too. So far, I was big on NVIDIA. I sold right before this previous dip. So I think I'm the Michael Burry of sports stock.
I feel you had a vision. So,
I mean, did I not tell all of the friends to invest in NVIDIA when it was at 100?
you did.
I also said to get into XRP at 0.59.
Yeah.
So
XRP is on sale again. So
it is. It touched below 2. So Bitcoin's down to 87 as well. But listen, I don't know if everyone's here for us to talk about financial stocks.
Right.
Although, if they had listened to all of our sayings before, they would probably have lost money. So again, don't listen to anything we say. We know nothing. But if I were to do one stock pick at this bump down right here, my pick would be Salesforce. Salesforce is an undervalued stock. On December 3rd, their earnings are coming out. They have a new AI agent that they've pretty much revolutionized their product offering. If that has any momentum in the market out there, watch Salesforce go up 30% from December 3rd to the December 5th.
Dang. Yeah, it's interesting because I hate using Salesforce, but virtually every company uses that as their sales ERP platform. So, hey.
That's the one, man. Which one would you pick right now?
Right now?
Just anything. I mean, it can be crypto too.
Yeah. Right now, well, I'm still bullish on Alibaba, of course.
Okay.
I mean, they've been on a wild ride, but things are looking up. And what am I big on? I like Google, It's just stick with the classics. I can't picture a day Google won't be part of your life. You got to be able to kind of look into the future, and you got to be able to look 5-10 years down the road. I feel pretty confident Google is going to be one of those big time players.
No, I think you're 100% right. For anyone out there who's tried Gemini 3, their new model that came out 2 days ago, it is jaw-dropping. I think ChatGPT might be done, to be perfectly honest. Look out for Anthropic and Claude, and look out for Gemini. I think those two are going to actually end up being the large language models that make it through. I think Sam Altman's kind of gotten a little cocky and too big for his britches. So anyway, I think it's a good time to dip back into the market. Went down, possible short-term gain. So buy the dip. All right, next story. Trump has officially signed the Epstein files to be released. We got some cute snippets. We got some snippets about Donnie possibly doing some things. Nothing too damning for him.
Yeah.
You would have expected a little bit more based on everything that everyone was saying. So nothing too damning, but there's a wild list of people that are involved in this. And I don't know what the files even are. Everyone thinks that, well, everyone keeps saying that there's just thousands and thousands of files. Are there? I don't think there are.
Yeah, we keep hearing files plural. I mean, that could just be, that could be 5, that could be 10. People act like it's thousands. People also just keep calling it a list. They're saying, I want the list. Give me the list. My one thing is any name in those files, any name of a person who traveled to the island over the years on the list? Because what if someone went to the island and they were completely innocent? Like, we're not at that level of fame yet where we have friends who have their own private islands. But I'm just saying, if I didn't know of any sketchy behavior going on, someone said, hey, do you want to go to my private island? I think I'd say, yeah, that sounds awesome. What are we going to do? Go swimming and play beach volleyball? I mean, that sounds like a nice little weekend getaway. So,
yeah, I mean, I think you might be defending everyone who went to the island.
I think we need to separate who engaged in those nefarious behaviors and who just had a good time, got away from the big city life, and had some cocktails on the beach.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But I think the people on the list who were there over 20 times, I think that defense kind of falls apart.
Right. So really multiple visits.
Stephen Hawking, Bill Gates, Bill Clinton being there as many times as they were, it's kind of shocking. Kind of shocking. Also, Larry Summers, the Harvard president, very weird cast of characters. So not looking good. Also, it's possible Epstein worked for Mossad.
Yeah, there is a lot going on. You really never thought something like this would come out. I mean, it's also been a wild roller coaster of, I feel like Trump has been calling for these files to come out. He said, we need these files. We need these files. They're going to come out. They're going to be absolutely insane. And then he got into office and it was just silence. Like it kind of reminded me of the hype around the last season of Game of Thrones. Like everyone was into the show. People were into it. They're saying this season, this finale, it's going to blow your socks off. Nothing will be the same after this. The finale, kind of a dud. And everyone just, let's stop talking about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you're so right. One of my favorite things Trump has done. I mean, you cannot say that you didn't run your entire end of your campaign saying that you were going to release the files. And you got a lot of people on board that were in the middle because they were like, all right, at least this guy's going to crack down on corruption. And he gets in there and then somehow he just flips his switch and he literally was getting interviewed and he goes like, no, you're talking about the Epstein files again? Why are we talking about the Epstein files? Like this is a non-story. And I'm just sitting there like, buddy, you partially made this story as big as it is. You, JD Vance and everyone pumped this story more than I've ever seen anyone pump in a campaign. So a wild turn of events there. Absolutely wild turn of events. But let's see what happens. I don't want to talk too much about it until we read all the emails. I do want to say though, it is interesting. I did listen to Tucker
truck backing up.
Oh, that's one of those Rivian Amazon trucks.
Yeah.
But Tucker Carlson made a good point. So back when Epstein got arrested down in Florida, when they actually knew that he was doing the massage thing, when the FBI went into his house, they had a search warrant. Apparently the search warrant was only valid for like one room in the house. So it was like one of the more interesting warrants on a house of that magnitude, like with that kind of crime. And so it's likely there might not be any files at all. So all these files that they're saying, there really might not be. So we'll see what happens. But it is interesting. Ghislaine Maxwell, Trump moved her to a minimum security prison, and she has rights. And apparently the warden helps her send emails. That's what I heard as well, which is kind of a weird thing, but
it's crazy. But yeah, my whole thing with these files, it's like there's been so much buildup. You got to see the files; they're going to come out. I feel like the novelty in the files is that we haven't seen them. It's like I feel like this could be like when the Cubs finally broke through and won a World Series after 108 years. It's like they were known as the lovable losers. The novelty of the Cubs was that they hadn't won one. Is this going to be once the files come out? It's like, yeah. I mean, it might just be another list. I mean, there are plenty of lists on the internet. I could ask ChatGPT to make me a list right now. It's just, I don't know. It's like the novelty is in the journey. The novelty is in the list being a secret. So,
Yeah, there's also a study I read that people need to look forward to something, and you actually get more value of the looking forward to it part than you do actually living the part. So, if you're at work and you plan a vacation 6 months out, you're like, hey, I got a vacation in 6 months. Hey, I got a vacation. And then that's why you get so depressed, because after the vacation, you're like, shit, that was like vacation's over. So it's kind of like the Epstein file. It's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, we kind of like figured all that would happen. All right, well, on to our life, because no one's going to do anything anyway, and we have to go work and make money.
yeah, I mean, what will we even turn towards? What will be the next talking point? I don't know. It's just
Like, are we just going to lose the president of Harvard, the president of the U.S., the ex-president of the U.S., the richest man in the U.S.? Nothing's going to happen to these guys, so let's just move on. It's kind of a non-story because nothing's going to happen to anyone.
it really is a non-story.
But we should still talk about it.
Yeah. And we will have an emergency pod once they're finally released. We'll be breaking down
That's right.
all the files.
We might even
in
do a
detail.
live pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Ferg's. All right. We've talked about this guy a lot on the pod. He is finally officially named the starter of the Cleveland Browns. We're talking about Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
We're talking about the most underrated quarterback to hit the league in, I'd say, over 30 years. We're talking about one of the quickest releases in the NFL. We're talking about flawless footwork. We're talking about decision-making like we've never seen. We're talking about one of the highest completion percentages in FBS history. We're talking Dion Primetime's son. The Cleveland Browns might come back and make the playoffs this year.
Well, it's a definite possibility. I mean, they finally have a talented stud quarterback in there. This kid, he waited, he earned his opportunity. We already knew he was a freak athlete. He's going to carry a chip on his shoulder the rest of his career. The way things went, falling in the draft, having to wait until week 11 to get in the game. Tom Brady his whole career talked about how he always remembered that he was that 7th round pick, and that never left him even after all the success. I think we'll see a similar thing with Shedeur Sanders. The Browns also have an elite defense. That division's pretty open. I think the best thing, you hate to see someone get hurt, but the best thing that could have happened for the Cleveland Browns was to have Dylan Gabriel go down, get Shedeur Sanders on the field, and start the new era. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. I mean, because we had an NFL source texting us on Sunday night. The words he used were generational. And that's how it looked. I mean, he only passed 16 times, but the kid's got a live arm.
He's got a live arm. I listened to someone, they commented to me and said, your boy got in and he sucks. Do you not understand football? Do you not understand football? I mean, you watch Caleb Williams just continue to go out there and suck each week, and Shedeur gets 16 passes, and we're going to label him a bust. Give this guy a break. He's one of the best quarterbacks to come out of college. I think Shedeur Sanders, if he has a good end of the year, could he be Rookie of the Year?
I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, the field is wide open. No one has really stood out in that regard. We thought Travis Hunter might be that. His Colorado teammate, he went down with the injury. This year, yeah, that's what's bugging me. People criticizing this first performance. It's like there's more to playing quarterback in the NFL than completing passes and winning the game. And for a guy who accomplished so much in college, it would be so dumb for me to write him off so early. I'm buying Shedeur stock. Talk about a dip. That's a dip I'm buying.
I'm going all in. I'm putting the 401k and liquidating it. So I think we're on the same page there, and I'm glad to hear it. All right. We got to talk NIL. We got to talk college transfer portal. So it's kind of getting to be madness at this point. It's unrestricted free agency every year. No player is staying at the same school for more than a year. People are getting paid $9 million. There's no salary caps. There's no salary floors. This has become a chaotic mess. College football is unwatchable as a fan because you don't even know who's on your team. Everything's happening too fast. And honestly, if I'm the NFL, I'm a little worried too because the development of the talent, because the college football is basically the minor leagues of the NFL, the development of the talent is completely gone.
Oh,
no one can handle any adversity anymore. No one pushes through anything. It is an absolute disaster. If you're a college football coach right now, you must be miserable. Your life must be absolutely miserable. If it wasn't miserable enough trying to convince high schoolers to just come to your school on a scholarship and under the table money, think about how miserable it is now to talk to all these 18-year-old and 19-year-olds who think they're worth $2 to $3 million when they've never even produced any stat in major college football. So I think we need some sort of solution for this. And to be frank, college football is going to suffer until this gets fixed.
Yeah, the landscape of college football is changing a lot. I mean, we've always had players transfer, but not at the levels that it's happening now. And I always thought that one of the kind of cool things about college sports where you kind of watch someone come in from, you see them as a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. You watch them along their 4 years grow, take on a greater role, and it's kind of, you watch that character development. Now, it's a whole new roster every year. Guys are shuffling around so quickly. And also you think about the classic college football coach. I think of a hard ass. I think of a Nick Saban type, military drill sergeant laying down the law. I don't know if that will really fly anymore. These kids are making millions. If they don't like the coaching, they don't like their situation, they can transfer. And it's a new day in college sports.
Well, and the boosters have more power now than ever because now they're basically the GMs for these teams.
It is wild.
Because, I mean, the schools aren't paying them. And so the people paying them these millions of dollars are these weird collectives that are run by the boosters. So it's very strange to see, but also interesting that all of these Southern schools have such rich alumni. They just come out of nowhere. It's like Mississippi State has a collective of $100 million. And you're like, who went to Mississippi State and made $100 million to just give away?
I mean, you think Tech is rich right now? It's like that oil money.
That oil money,
unparalleled.
Texas Tech, that's why they're in the top 5 right now, because they just have all that oil money down in Texas. They're turning the Red Raiders
wild
into a gold mine down there.
Also, boosters are crazy because, we're both more pro sports fans. I mean, I absolutely love my teams, but there is no scenario where I would just fund the Patriots payroll.
That's a good point.
It's actually wild. These boosters are really some of the best fans out there.
They're beyond fans. It's a lot of them clearly have issues in life and holes to fill because they are spending wild amounts of money on kids who probably won't even pan out for like 1 to 2 years just so they could make the college football playoffs. The return on investment seems to be very strange. But again, I don't have $100 million. So maybe they get bored with life and they want to play God. And to be honest, they probably feel pretty good when they just control an entire college football program. I think it's funny, though, when you said that about the pros teams, though, because Bills fans will get mad if the ticket prices go up like $5. They're like, this is blasphemy. I am not giving this team $5 more this year. And then vice versa in college, they're like, we need to win. I am giving them $500 million over the next 10 years to do so. So kind of funny. All right. Next one. This one won't be long, but we need to touch on it.
Yeah.
Pennies have been discontinued. One of my favorite coins, one of the best looking coins, Abe Lincoln is suffering. He's only going to be on the $5 bill from now on. I don't know if that's enough currency for Abe Lincoln to be on. What's your thoughts on the penny going? Now we're like Canada, man.
Yeah, this is a weird one. I mean, we heard that this day could be coming for years. I was hearing for a long time, the penny could be discontinued. It's more expensive to manufacture than an actual penny itself. So in that sense, it's impractical. I mean, to me, this signals the death of change as a whole. People are paying electronically. They're paying with credit cards. Cash, it's not as frequent. But how do you get change anymore? I mean, not now the smallest increment we can go is 5 cents. I mean, there will still be some holdover pennies in circulation. Don't get me wrong. But to me, it's weird. I mean, we're getting sloppy with our rounding.
Well, I don't know if I didn't read too much into it. Does the discontinuation mean that you can't use pennies anymore? Because in Canada, that's what they did. They just the pennies don't work anymore.
So my understanding is that you can still use pennies,
okay,
but I think on the flip side, it will be somewhat understandable if a cash register you pay doesn't have the pennies to give you exact change. So I was even seeing some graphics giving guidelines to cashiers, basically showing them, you round to the nearest 5 cents in that event. It's not a big deal. We're talking less than 5 cents, but that triggers my OCD. I need precision.
Also, I will say I probably give off unwarranted anger when I see the person in front of me pull out a dollar bill to use at the grocery store, at a concession stand. I get so freaking pissed that I have to wait another minute and a half for the dumb cashier to figure out the math. Because cashiers cannot do change anymore. Back in the day when everyone was using bills, cashiers were so good at like getting all the stuff out quick. Now it's like they see a dollar bill and they just shut down.
It's a good point, because that's what got you in the door and made you a good cashier back in the day. You were quick on your feet, great at mental math. Now, you're just someone who you operate behind the screen. You're used to pushing buttons. These people aren't necessarily quick-witted mathematicians.
Well, here's a role play. Ready? You're interviewing for a cashier job in 1994.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy, do you have a pretty good understanding of math?
I do. I believe I do.
Are you good at addition and subtraction?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let me give you a couple things. 10 minus 7.
That would be 3.
100 minus 50.
50.
100 minus 43.
57.
Exactly. You got the job. Okay. Now we're going to do cashier interview today. Andy, thank you so much for coming in. We're going to give you $20 an hour. I only have one question.
Not giving $20 an hour.
I have one question for you. Can you stand?
Yeah, it is crazy.
All right.
We don't even let them sit.
They don't let them sit.
We don't let them sit.
I think that's so... It's so annoying. In the 1920s when the unions were fighting for workers' rights and Ford decided to give us the weekend, no one was fighting for these poor cashiers at the time. The cashier union should have fought for chairs back then, because I feel so bad when you go into a store and you just see them having to wear like their big black Hoka shoes, because you just know their lower back pain is just through the roof.
It's actually bizarre. And I wonder, because you actually think better on your feet standing up. So I wonder if that actually was part of the logic initially, that they're kind of sharper, more ready to do mental math standing up.
That's hilarious.
I don't know. But also how you're saying you hate seeing someone pay in cash. I will say on the flip side, though, isn't it so satisfying when you have exact change for something? And I love card transactions, but I mean, I'm pulling out of a parking deck, at the airport, they're saying, oh, it's $30. I'm like, yeah, I got a 20 and a 10 right here. It's actually the only cash in my wallet. Here you go.
That's almost as good as pumping gas and stopping at a round number.
Oh,
yeah.
I do like that.
That also is very good.
Yeah.
Also, when you get groceries and then in your head, you're like, I think that was $134, and it's like $134, and you're like,
yeah.
What's up, dog? What's up? All right, feel good story of the week. Haiti qualifies for the World Cup for the first time since 1974. Haiti is back. After all the earthquakes, the gangs, the violence, the devastation we've seen in Haiti, the hunger, the kids not being able to go to school because all the schools are jam-packed. But they said, no. If there's one thing Haiti's good at, it's soccer. I am so pumped to see this for Haiti. Watch out for the underdogs. Do we feel like this might be kind of like when the Bahamas got into bobsledding?
I could definitely see it, because this is a true underdog story. This is a story of grit. I love seeing the little guy pull through. I mean, Haiti has had a tough go of it. And it's hard not to look at the United States. I mean, we have everything served up on a silver platter for us. And there have been years recently where the U.S. has not qualified for the World Cup. The U.S. did not qualify in 2018. I mean, what a disgrace. These Haitian players, they're gritty, they're grinding. They have to work 10 times as hard as we do here in the States. And I look forward to watching them. I think it's exciting for the Haitian people.
I think if you're a Haitian today, you got to be just jumping for joy.
Good day to be a Haitian.
I can't wait to see their fans at the World Cup too. I don't know how they're going to get there, but it's going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the next story. This one, it touches home. Bills play tonight. What the hell is going on with Keon Coleman, man? This guy has stunk since he's been in the league. He cannot get an ounce of separation. He's showing up late to meetings. You are fumbling the bag at such an extreme level that it pains me to watch a young man like him not realize that if he doesn't show up on time and produce, his idea of making millions of dollars a year will be out of the window so fast, and he's going to be a receiver for the Montreal Alouettes. That's his next stop at this stage, because you show up as a receiver in the NFL and you just play like he has and you show up late to meetings, no other NFL team is going to give you a shot. So, Keon, You get benched and then you're dancing on the sidelines pregame, buddy. You got to get the mental right. You got to figure it out because perception is reality. And right now, the perception from the public and the fans is that you just don't give a shit. And so that's not a place you want to be. I think you're a nice guy. I think a lot of it's lighthearted, but you only get that excuse for so long. And at some point, you got to take your work seriously because this isn't college anymore. This isn't high school. This is grown ass football.
Yeah, I think this right here is the downside of NIL. We're seeing an NIL baby in real time struggle to adjust to the pros. I mean, this was a guy, he was getting $15 million a year in college, lands in the NFL. He thinks everything's going to come easy. I mean, the Buffalo Bills, they let Stephon Diggs walk because they thought you were going to step in, fill that role, be Josh Allen's number one guy. Not only have you not produced, you're missing meetings. I mean, we know that's a no-no in the NFL. This is a very serious business. But you know what? I'd be willing to let it slide because we all make mistakes. I'm sure you weren't trying to miss the meeting. But when I see you dancing on the sideline, having the time of your life, acting like everything's good and jolly, I don't like it because this is a Bills team. They're serious about making a Super Bowl run. It's been an up and down season. They need every win they can get. And, I mean, it is just no big deal to you. And, honestly, I did like seeing Shavers, number 14. He got in the game in Coleman's spot, and he showed out. So, I mean, if you're Keon Coleman, tighten it up because there are a lot of other talented players in this league. You know, you could be on the outside looking in real soon.
The level that goes into these athletes and the commitment they have in their life, they have one shot to make this amount of money in their life, and they've pretty much put all the chips on the table. They have specialized in football their entire life. So someone like Shavers, he gets one shot. This is all he's got, man. Yeah. He's playing with heart. He's running down the field blocks. He's catching touchdowns. That is what the fans love. It's the Rudy story. It's everything that's good with sports. That's what fans want to see. That's what coaches want to see. That's what Josh Allen wants to see. And it's the complete opposite of what Keon Coleman is doing right now. And honestly, his teammates haven't really come to his defense much. In fact, they've kind of seemed like every time they're getting interviewed, they're kind of talking shit about him. So, yeah, if I'm Keon Coleman, man, I'm not feeling too good about myself right now. 2 straight games, he's been a healthy scratch.
No, it's great. I mean, yeah, Deion Dawkins called him out respectfully, but I think it's one thing to suck. It's another thing to suck and not give a shit.
100%. All right. We got to talk this too. The Chiefs. Chiefs are now sitting at 5-5. The Chiefs dynasty is clearly over, but I think we're now on to, are they even playoff material this year? And if they don't make the playoffs this year, what the hell is going to happen with their roster?
Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like the Chiefs are hitting kind of a fork in the road in their run because last year, it's like they had a horseshoe up their ass. They finished 15-2. They were in a ton of close games, and everyone, they just seemed to pull it out. I mean, they're not getting blown out this year. They are just losing the games they won last season. They're in a tough spot. They're 5-5. They're in the 9th spot in the AFC. So they are 2 spots out of the postseason. Big loss to the Broncos this past weekend. I mean, Bo Nix is emerging as just a gritty winner in that division. The Broncos have an elite defense, a complete roster. The Chiefs are in a tough spot. I'm still giving Patrick Mahomes the benefit of the doubt. I think the guy is a winner. His track record, you never read a guy like him off. But this iteration of the Chiefs, 5 Super Bowls in 6 years, I think we might see a little down period. It's like with Patriots. People say that a 20-year run, they did go 10 years without a Super Bowl in the middle. It's like they really had 2 kind of, 5-6 year runs bookended. I mean, Travis Kelce looks done. Look for the whole roster other than Mahomes to turn over in the next few years. Andy Reid may be close to the end. So I think if you have Mahomes, you're in it. But this isn't looking like their year. And I believe big roster shakeup's coming.
It is. And that's going to be interesting to see. I don't know if they're going to be able to reload like the Patriots did back in the day. I don't think they're the same core guys. I think Mahomes is kind of showing some fatigue out there. I think the league has kind of figured out how to play him a little bit too. And Travis Kelce, man, he is done. This is probably his last year. And good on him. He's probably going to make more money in podcasting and being Taylor Swift's husband. So good on him. But yeah, Chiefs are in trouble. That's all I know. All right, this is a great story. This is an absolutely banger of a story. RFK is set to announce new dietary guidelines next month. What are we thinking if we're trying to get into RFK's head here? If I'm RFK, what new dietary guidelines am I going to set next month?
Well, what's interesting is that we don't know the guidelines yet, but he likes to eat kind of a carnivore diet, and he is sort of pushing towards Americans kind of eating more meats, more proteins, less that other junk. And I'm very, very curious to see it. I mean, I remember I watched Jordan Peterson on the Joe Rogan Experience. He talked about eating strictly ground beef for 3 months. Why did he do that? I'm not really sure. He had ground beef and salt water, I believe. And he said there were times his head hurt, he could barely function, but he dropped a ton of weight. He said he had more energy than ever before. I think it's time we looked at outdated food pyramid in the mirror and say, are we eating the right things?
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll talk to Peterson and Rogan about the food pyramid, because if you're asking me, they might be like, hey man, maybe we should put steak and butter at the bottom of the food pyramid, man. Like, the shit that these guys talk about is hilarious. Now, I will say, yeah, if you want to lose some weight, it's not new. The Atkins diet was back in the 2000s, man. I watched my parents and I watched people of that generation eat bacon and cheese and think that that was somehow healthy because it didn't have carbs. So I don't know if RFK will go to that extreme, but I am interested to see what he says. And I love RFK for this because you do feel like shit. If you eat half of that stuff that's in the bottom of the food pyramid, you don't feel good. Like, there's no way cereal and like whole wheat toast should be at the bottom of the food pyramid.
Yeah. I think you want minimal amounts of those things. Also, cereal is not actual food.
No,
I mean,
it's not real.
It's not. Like, the American cereals that are in the aisle, no one should ever actually eat that for breakfast. I mean, no wonder our kids are doing terrible in school. We're basically giving them a bowl of sugar and saying, all right, now go learn for 8 hours.
They're like, okay, hey, listen, you're having a tough time in school. Here's some Ritalin pills.
yeah.
Here's a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios, which is good for your heart.
That is true.
And for lunch, we're going to give you 3 Uncrustables and $3 to buy some Gushers from the snack stand. Oh, I don't know why my kid like can't focus and like, I don't know, it's crazy. Like, now they have anxiety. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, are we not going for long enough walks with them or like talking to them? Are we being mean to them? Is that why? It couldn't be any of that other stuff. It couldn't be that my 8-year-old's going to a therapist already. It couldn't be any of that. It has to be that we're just not being nice enough to them.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, get these kids some ground beef, get them some nutrient-rich vegetables. They say broccoli, Brussels sprouts, spinach, kale, some of the most nutrient dense. So
Also,
that's a good starting point.
If you don't want to eat your vegetables, just eat athletic greens, man.
That is true. Or just blend it all up, or just take a multivitamin.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be interesting, but I think it's good that he's pushing for all these freaking chemicals that are only in Americans' food. I don't know how these companies get away with it, man. It actually drives me nuts that these companies are putting these crap in that literally in studies is shown to cause cancer in animals, and it's banned in every other country, and they make the food for the other countries without the stuff. And they're like, yeah, Americans, just keep it in there.
Yeah, I do believe that's probably one of the most completely insane things that we do in America is we actually just don't care at all what we put in our bodies. It's probably the easiest variable you can control that impacts your quality of life, and we just don't care at all. We are eating weird microplastics, food dye, just absurd chemicals that we know will kill us just so a few food conglomerates can make an extra 2 cents per person.
It's sickening. I don't even know where America goes from here, though. If you look at those big charts of who actually owns all these food companies that are in the grocery stores, like you said, it's 3 companies that owns all the brands. And I went into a Walmart today. I haven't gone into a Walmart in a while. I have not. This was a giant superstore Walmart. I had to pick up some drinks, and I went to the grocery section. First off, just the sheer size of a Walmart is the most American thing ever. This does not take place anywhere else in the world, what we do at a Walmart. And I'm walking through. aisle after aisle after aisle after aisle, thousands of products that are just filled with crap that is poisonous to the body. And the people in Walmart today, I mean, it looks like they're sniffing all seasoning all day long. They're all, they're like, dude, it was a freaking disaster. I don't know where America needs to tighten up with that. It's not looking good for us.
Yeah, I'm a very optimistic person, but every time I go to Walmart, I walk away with pretty much no hope for the future of the country. I mean, from everything on the shelves to the people shopping in the store to their lack of spatial awareness to the employees who know they're not getting compensated well, but I kind of understand why, because they're not doing anything or doing any work.
Yeah.
They are stocking shelves with headphones in, blocking the entire aisle. They look at you like you have four heads if you ask them where an item is in the Walmart. And I mean, God forbid they have to come over and help you with the self-checkout. They also look at you like you were just a freeloader if you do the, quote, assisted checkout, which is just regular checkout.
Yeah. It's funny is I had to do 2 separate transactions today. And so I got the receipt for the first one, but then on the second one, I remembered that weird study about like if you touch the receipts, there's parabens all over it. And then I was like, I can't touch the receipt. So she goes to hand me the second receipt. I go, oh no, I don't need the receipt. And she like looked at me like, what? You don't want the receipt? I was like, no, just throw it out. And then I was walking and then I saw the person at the front. I'm like, oh
yeah,
I forgot they check receipts here. So I get up to this guy, huge guy, old, huge guy, giant, huge man, not tall, fat. And he goes, receipt. And I was like, oh, I have the one receipt, but I didn't get my second receipt. So I did 2 separate transactions. He looked at me like I was Saddam Hussein. And then I was like, I can go back and get the receipt. Do you want? He goes, he looked at me with disdain. He goes, unbelievable. He goes, listen, if you want to take that risk, it's on you. And I was highly confused at that moment because I was like, what risk are you talking about, man? Like, are you going to call the cops on me for shoplifting? Is that the risk you're talking about? Or are you saying the risk is I'm not going to be able to return this stuff? Because you guys return everything. Walmart is the world's greatest rental store. If people haven't caught on to that yet, they're missing out. There's 90 days of return on any item in Walmart, and they'll take it in used condition. So you could pretty much buy a cooler every 60 days and just return it and just constantly have a free cooler.
Well, it's great. And, we've been doing this podcast for, a little over 2 months now, not quite the 90-day mark. So we will be returning this cooler somewhat soon, but... in that same trip, we will be just picking out a new one. So.
Yeah. So, hey, put in the comments what color cooler you want from Walmart. It has to be a Walmart.
Right.
Can't be Target. They have standards there. Okay, so let's move on to something else. Let's move on to Aaron Rodgers.
Let's talk about it.
Aaron Rodgers is the kind of guy that we like. He sticks to the game, doesn't talk about his opinions. He just says, you know what? I'm going to focus this year on my job. But when he does have an opinion, we listen. This one's great. So Aaron Rodgers claims that Amish people are healthier due to not taking vaccines. Apparently they have lower rates of sudden infant death syndrome and autism. What are our thoughts here?
Yeah, this is, definitely crazy coming from Rodgers. This is a guy who, he's really all about family and winning football. So he doesn't really do these types of interviews, talk about things other than football too often. For starters, I was surprised that he took the anti-vaccine stance because, it's well documented. He was immunized 4 years ago when there were mandates throughout the league. He might just be onto something because I think it's time we start listening to these athletes. Especially quarterback, that's a heady position. These, people, I think the idea of the idiot football player, that's a lazy narrative to me. These quarterbacks, it's like an encyclopedia in their head. The amount of information that they got to retain, you got to be able to make quick decisions. Rodgers talks, I listen. What do we know about public health? We're eating microplastics and food dye and things that we know give us cancer. Let's listen to Rodgers.
No, I think I disagree wholeheartedly. Aaron Rodgers missed this one completely, and the answer is staring him right in the face. He is claiming that no Amish people have autism. I have never met an Amish person who doesn't have autism. I think the autism level of Amish people is 100%.
That's true. It really might be. Yeah, he might be kind of conflating instances versus diagnosis because
Right.
I don't know. Do Amish people make trips to the doctor as often as the non-Amish? I mean, they kind of just do their own thing, or do they have Amish doctors who have their own Amish doctors who have maybe different standards for the diagnosis?
Well, let's define autism. Do Amish people even recognize that as a disease? Do they even recognize it as a health thing? It's kind of hilarious. And obviously I say that in jest with the Amish people. They're good people, hardworking. They do not have autism. Apparently they have no autism. But I don't know. Let's get a real study on it. Let's see. I don't know. I don't fully trust vaccines.
I do find it interesting. I mean, these Amish people, they can be an incredible test subject. They kind of live just a pure, untouched life. I mean, they don't care about the modern world. In a world where everyone is buried in a freaking screen all day, these Amish people become more and more fascinating to me.
Yeah.
I mean, they're living tech-free. They're doing their thing. They're not caught up in the rat race. So they should be the control variable in pretty much any study about modern society.
Them and the Mennonites, man. Get them in there.
Yeah.
I want to see them. Let's test them all. Let's test everybody. And I'm down to be in that study for the getting the vaccines.
Yeah.
I am happy to do that one. All right. Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is doing the Super Bowl this year. Bad Bunny is Puerto Rican.
Right.
Puerto Rico is a part of the U.S. But everyone says Bad Bunny's doing the Super Bowl. This is out of control. We can't have this. We can't have a non-American singing at the biggest American event, even though that Bad Bunny is American and has an American passport. So Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk's wife, who now runs it, says, you know what? We're going to listen to real cold-blooded, warm-blooded, all Americans from every walk of life, and we're going to give them the halftime show that they deserve. Do we know who's going to be performing during this Turning Point halftime show?
So my understanding is it's not music. I don't believe it's music as much as it is some good old-fashioned, hard-hitting, right-wing rhetoric. And I think it's interesting because they kind of saw an opportunity. We've had some polarizing halftime performers before, but there are quite a lot of people who are upset that Bad Bunny is performing. In fact, we saw a lot of people comment on Facebook between the ages of 55 and 80 who said, I'm not watching the halftime show this year. Normally, if you're on another cable network, you don't even dare to try to compete against the Super Bowl, let alone the halftime show. This is a rare opportunity to rival this program. It's also interesting because it creates some division in households. Like, say you get invited to a Super Bowl party. In the past, you would say, hey, do you need me to bring anything? Should I bring beers? Should I bring, cookies? Now it's, oh, by the way, also, is this a Bad Bunny halftime? Is this a Bad Bunny Super Bowl party, or is this Turning Point USA Super Bowl party?
That's amazing. Quick aside from this, talking about Super Bowl halftime show. We had the Super Bowl at my house last year.
Great time.
And the halftime performer was Lamar, Kendrick Lamar. And in synchronicity, all of our dads had reached out to us and texted us or called us separately and said, who the hell is this guy singing at halftime? I've never heard of him and can't understand what he's saying. I kid you not, we went one by one and we had everyone text their dad and say, hey, what do you think of the halftime show? It was one of the funniest things ever. So that crowd, unfortunately, if you're aged 55 to 85 right now, you're just having a tough time with these Super Bowl halftime announcements. But honestly, what would they actually want? What they wouldn't like anyone right now. If it was Billie Eilish, they'd be like, why is Billie Eilish on TV right now? I mean, there's no winning for the NFL picking these halftime shows. And oh, by the way, Bad Bunny is like the most famous artist in the world. So kind of an irrelevant argument for me. I do think Turning Point USA, genius move on their part, though.
Yeah, they're capitalizing on a time when people are upset. They don't want to watch Bad Bunny. They said, you know what? We got something for you. And I'm really curious to see how it plays out. This could be a blueprint for going forward? Will we see kind of rival halftime performances?
Pat Beverly, you scumbag. It finally caught up to you. Apparently, you can't just be an asshole every single day of your life forever. So, story comes out, Pat Beverly arrested. Oh my God, what did he get arrested for? He caught his underage sister having sex with someone over 18. Whoa. All right, hang on. We're on Pat Bev's side here.
Sure.
If that happened to me, I'd beat the shit out of the guy too. What? Pat Beverly did not beat up the guy. Apparently, Pat Beverly grabbed his sister with two hands by the throat and then allegedly punched her in the face on the couch while he was on top of her. Very, very strange story. And if this is true, this guy should be locked away for years in prison.
I completely agree. If these allegations are true, this guy, he shouldn't see the light of day for a long, long time. And I was with you the same way. It's like you heard Pat Beverly arrested for assault, but then you think, oh, well, completely justified. I mean, sometimes there's a reason to beat someone's ass. Then you hear that it was the sister he was wailing on. I think stories like this are sad because it goes to show no matter how many hours we spend watching these guys on the TV, we bring them into our living rooms. You think you know these athletes, but you just don't. And for a guy like Patrick Beverly, he was always just hardworking, quiet, respectable, seemed like a nice guy, just kind of let his play do the talking, and entertaining podcaster. You know, really just, you hear a story like this, it just goes to show you never really know who these guys are behind the scenes.
Screw you, Patrick Beverly. You should rot in prison for putting your hands on your sister. That's disgusting, man. Honestly, it's disgusting. All right, this one's interesting. So LSU is saying, all right, Brian Kelly, hold on a second. You were fired for cause. You weren't just fired for performance. We're taking you to court, and we're not giving you this $40 million in guaranteed money that we apparently put in the contract if we ever fired you. And Brian Kelly said, oh, I'll see you in court. Great case. I want to see what happens here because these coaches, if the school is putting that in the contract, then I think it's on them to have to pay it out. And to be honest, it probably needs to be even higher so these schools can stop turning over these coaches. But I'm interested to see what happens here with Brian Kelly. Are you pro Brian Kelly getting the money, or are you pro the people of Louisiana not having to pay that bum his money?
Yeah, I think Brian Kelly's got to get the money, and the poor Louisiana people are going to have to front the bill because I don't really think LSU has a leg to stand on here. I mean, they put in the for cause clause in the contract, but he was told he was fired for performance. It's like, what is their argument here? You know, at least I feel like we saw a case like this similar in the NFL where John Gruden, friend of the program, was given a ton of money to be the Raiders head coach. 10 years, $100 million. And by about year 2, Mark Davis said, I'm running out of cash. I gave this guy way too much money. It's not working out. He goes to the NFL. He says, can we just dig up some dirt on this guy so I can get out of paying this? The next thing you know, we hear that John Gruden sent some tasteless emails, if you will, and fired for cause. That $100 million never paid out. He's still suing the NFL. It's like LSU was pretty lazy with this one. It sounds like Brian Kelly, not the nicest guy behind the scenes, but they didn't even bring that to the table. I mean, they just said for cause, no explanation. I kind of can't side with them just because of how stupid this whole thing was. They gave him way too much money, regretted it, and I mean, they're even botching the firing.
They're playing the slow game. They want to see how far they can take this in court and keep making appeals to where it takes forever for him to get the money so he agrees to a settlement. That's all I can think that LSU is trying to do. I think that's their only game that they could probably play. Now, I want to see Brian get his money. I think he earned it. I think, being that bad of a coach and doing that bad of an accent at LSU, good on you, man. You deserve $40 million. All right. Let's see. What else do we want to talk about today? All right. There's a city in Japan. We found this story on Reddit. City in Japan has now proposed a 2-hour daily limit for smartphone use. I don't know how you police it, but I'm kind of here for this idea. I think smartphones being connected to your email, being connected to your work, Slack, all of this stuff has pretty much made Americans on call 24/7. There's no expectation of downtime anymore, and there's no expectation that you have to answer the phone or a text within a certain time period, or people feel like it's rude. Not to mention the fact that these social media companies have the algorithms figured out. I catch myself getting those weekly reports of how much time I've looked at my phone. It is disgusting. I am throwing away pretty much my entire time being awake in this world by staring at my phone. I don't know what to do with it. I'm addicted completely, especially after doing this podcast and looking at all the views. It is complete dopamine hits. I mean, I wake up, first thing I do is like, TikTok video went viral. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, that's all I do. And then I go to work and I'm on a computer or phone all day. And then I get home like, how are the videos doing? Oh, and then we shoot the video and I'm editing. Oh, I'm on screen all day long.
Yeah, I think it's a super interesting idea. And I'm here for it as well, because people as a whole are just spending way too much time in front of the screen on their phones. It's like you can barely get away from it. You ever have a long day? I mean, you're looking at your phone, you're looking at the computer, and then you just get up, you go for a walk. You leave the phone in the pocket, and it's like for the first time, you can actually hear your own thoughts. We talked about in this program before, alcohol consumption in the U.S. is down. Will alcohol be looked at as smoking of the last generation? I think smartphones and screen time may be viewed that way as well, because this is something that is clearly awful for us, and it's staring us right in the face. We just don't even realize it. I mean, I believe everyone should spend way less time per day on their smartphone unless they're consuming lawn chair sports content. I feel like everyone would be way happier for it. And I do believe this could be viewed as kind of the smoking of the last generation. It is interesting. In Japan, they do very much enjoy smoking, but they are cracking down on screen time.
Yeah, they're gonna let them smoke because that's important. They're not cracking down on smoking at all. I just don't know how the city polices it. Also, if they leave the city, can they use their smartphone? How do they track that? It creates a lot of situations. Also,
imagine,
is it 2 consecutive hours or is it 2 total hours? How is that timed? What if you've hit your limit and then you need to use your phone to call someone, or you get lost, or you got to order an Uber? Is there going to be more drunk driving because shit, I used all my screen time earlier. Now I can't order an Uber, so I have to drive home. It seems great in theory. In practice, this world is completely reliant on smartphones. I don't think there's any getting away from it at this point.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in Japan. I don't know if that's going to actually take place. All right, we'll do 2 more topics. Okay?
Let's do that.
I want to talk this. This guy just keeps popping up on our radar on this podcast, and he just continues to say the most outlandish things. I think he's one of the best guys on the podium we have in the NFL. We're talking Tua Tagovailoa. Tua Tagovailoa has now said that he wants to play an international game in Jerusalem. Thoughts?
I think it's awesome. I think Tua, he's a great spokesperson for the league. It's like this guy, you almost wouldn't blame Tua if he kind of looked at the NFL and said, "You screwed me over. You made me play when I was clearly concussed. I've suffered irreversible head injuries." But this guy, he's just taking on the chin. He's still an ambassador for the game. He wants to grow the game, play international games in new locations. He says, I think that'd be dope. I mean, this guy is just, he's a ball of energy. He's got enthusiasm. I think it'd be really cool to see. And I love a Tua press conference. I hope Tua turns things around. I'm a fan.
If we do play in Jerusalem, I want to see Mike McDaniels have to wear a yarmulke on the sidelines. I
think that'd be great. That'd be a really cool thing. Get more fans engaged. And, you know, it is crazy. I do have to contrast this to an answer that Lamar Jackson gave in a hard-hitting interview earlier this year. They asked him about where he wouldn't want to play a game. He said, I wouldn't want to play anywhere where wars are going on. And you kind of just compare that to a gamer like Tua, who is ready to suit up and play anywhere. I mean, you have guys like Lamar. He will play when it's comfortable for him. And maybe that's why he hasn't gotten over the hump.
Yeah, I think Warzone football, air raid offenses might thrive.
I mean, think of the classic George Carlin bit. Football is like war.
That's so funny. Anyway, Tua, keep it up. We can't wait for your next quote. These are phenomenal. All right, last thing we got to touch on. 50-year mortgages. We're not talking 15. We're not talking 30. We're not talking 25. We're not talking adjustable rate. We're talking about a fixed 50-year mortgage where you will actually pay so much money in interest that you actually just never pay off the home. Most Americans don't live past 74 anymore. So if you're buying a house at 25, you just have to pay the bank for 50 straight years. Now, that really begs the question. You don't even own the home at that point. The bank owns it for 50 years. We become a permanent renting state if this happens.
Yeah, I think it's a tremendous idea. I think it's going to benefit a lot of people because everyone's saying right now, homes are too expensive. I can't get my foot in the door with the interest rates, the home prices. But if we allow a 50-year mortgage, I imagine rates will be lower. I mean, this is going to open things up to people who never imagined home ownership before. And why do people buy homes? They buy homes so they can tell someone they own a house. I mean, there are people who put 5% down on their house. They are paying strictly interest the first 8 years. You go over their house, you'll ask, are you renting? They say, no, I own it. You own such a small piece of it. It is about telling your friends and family that you own something. It doesn't matter how long it's going to take you to pay it off. I mean, we're giving more Americans the opportunity to pretend that they own something. And that's, I mean, talk about a dopamine hit.
This country was built on debt. It was built on the idea of debt. Back in the day, houses used to be $35,000. You could save up for 2 years and buy a house in cash. The concept of anyone growing up right now buying a house in cash is completely gone. Today, a stat came out that the average homeowner, the average new purchaser of a home right now is 59 years old. 59 years old. The Gen Z is completely out right now in the housing market. They are like, you know what? I was told if I go to school, if I get good grades, if I go to college, if I do everything right, that I'll be rewarded. And what actually happened was they went to school, busted their ass, got into huge amounts of student loan debt, and then came out to no jobs because AI took it. They can't afford anything. They have 5 roommates. They're living in crappy apartments. They can't even afford to live in the big cities that have the jobs. We got to fix this problem because the Gen Zs in other countries right now are having big riots and they're back to rioting. I don't want to lose what I have to Gen Zs. That's all I know.
Yeah, it really is a crazy thing. I mean, just spreading the payment out. I wouldn't mind seeing this kind of in some other areas too. Maybe a 50-year car payment, maybe even just for household goods or, you know, clothing items, things that you maybe can't afford now, but you 50 years from now will be able to pay off.
Well, what's so cool is now DoorDash and Uber Eats allows you to do the was it Klarna or whatever?
Klarna, yeah, you can finance your purchase.
You can literally finance your Chipotle purchase.
I think it's a great thing because if anyone who understands the time value of money, you don't want to just put all this money down right now. I mean, this money could be growing and growing, especially in a robust market right now. I mean, you might kind of screw yourself over paying it all up front. You could carry that balance for 30, 40 years and come out ahead. So I think it's a fantastic thing, kind of giving Americans new financing options and an interesting economic landscape.
The one I actually think would be good in all reality, outside of joking, is the portability of mortgages. That would create so much heat in the housing market. If people were able to transfer their 3.5% mortgages, I think it's something like 80% of American homeowners who have a mortgage, 80% of them have an interest rate under 4%. And the reason a lot of people don't move out of their homes right now, lowering the inventory, which kind of raises the prices of homes on the market, is because they're stuck, they're house locked in these good interest rates, and they don't want to move and raise their payment $2,000-$3,000. So if you allow them to transfer their mortgage onto a new home, you'll see everyone moving. If you're a real estate agent, gear up because you'll be swimming in the money.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that that's not an option. Like, what difference does it make? It's the same loan, but just at a new house.
A lot of these mortgage companies make very little money on the back end of these loans, and they make a lot of money on the fees up front. These loans get packaged and resold so many times that banks see very little of the actual interest payments over time. So I don't know. It's interesting. They probably would fight that because they want to originate new loans and they want to originate refinancing, and that's how they generate all that business. When these companies lost their refinancing businesses, they dropped half their staff like right off the bat. So, all right. Let us know if you like today's kind of back and forth. We're trying to make it more like PTI style, like where we just talk topics. We don't have to break down all the games. Sometimes that can be a little bit boring. But if you liked it, let us know that too. I think the main thing is we're just trying to engage with you guys. We're going to test out some new stuff, and you let us know what's working. We are here for you. We have fun doing it, but at the end of the day, we're nothing without you, and we want to give you what you want. So, give us some feedback. If you've listened in at minute, 1 hour, and 1 minute, let us know. We're very happy. We got some new hats here too. Let us know what you think about the new logo.
Good looking hat.
Pretty sweet hats. We got about 35 of them right now. So let us know what you think. And Andy, anything left to say to the fans this week?
No, just excited to keep things going. Thank you so much for listening to the end. And yeah, we're willing to mix things up. I mean, we're just throwing crap at the wall and seeing what sticks. So if you got any suggestions, write in, email us. We'll do whatever.
We're pumping out amazing content coming soon too. So hit the follow button on every platform. And thanks for watching, guys. Boom.